Here we go.
What is up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of What the Fanboy. My name is Luke, and joining me is Mr. Tyler.
Welcome back. To the right, as always, the beautiful Brett Eitzen.
Thank you. Good to be here. Mm-hmm. So obviously we're not
live
this week. Mm-hmm. If you tune in on YouTube, obviously if you just follow along in your podcast feed, it's probably going out around a normal time. But we wanted to take a moment, take a little break this week, and just kind of stand in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement, and kind of stand in support of just organizations and people who want to stop systematic racism and injustice and the prejudices that are kind of here in America that, I don't think any of us probably have had to deal with. I've never had to deal with that.
No.
And so
growing up middle class in the heartland of America as a white person is something, it never really even crosses your mind, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yep. I grew up on the East Coast, just south of Washington, D.C., but I can't pretend to know what it's like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'll never say I can see how it would be in their shoes. But, I mean, as you mentioned, we just want to show our support.
Yep.
Any way we can.
Yeah. So, if you tuned in on Monday night to see that, hopefully you got our message. We hope that if you're comfortable, something I tweeted out just personally, if you're comfortable, because we are in a pandemic, going out and protesting, be safe. But if you're comfortable doing that, do it. I support that 100%.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't feel comfortable about doing that, if you can donate financially, I know, again, hard times where 40 million people are on unemployment right now. So I get times are tough, but if you are blessed enough, do the research and find an organization that you feel comfortable in donating to, and donate. And then if you can't do that, at least share your support on social media. If you've got people of color who are friends, give them a call. Text them, ask them how they're doing. And just show support for one another, because we all are in this together. We should all be in this together, and the problem is we're not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah. Now that we got that out of the way, obviously we want to still have a good show, a fun show, and we're gonna be talking about something that we all really enjoy. It kind of like we finished it now.
Yeah.
We've hit a milestone.
We've hit a milestone. And so later on in the episode, we'll be talking about Destiny 2 raids. We'll be ranking them and talking about kind of our experiences and trying to convince Luke to go back and do the D1 raids.
Convince me? I'm already convinced.
Oh, boy.
So what have you guys been up to this week?
I'll go. HBO Max came out.
Yes, it did.
So I've kind of been dabbling in that. And there's a new Looney Tunes cartoon that's out. Mm-hmm. And so I've watched a couple episodes of that. They're super short. I think they're about 12 minutes, and they each have like 2 little sections in it.
Oh.
I think I've watched 3. But it's really good.
Are they good?
It's really good. It's
awesome.
Really funny. There's definitely some jokes in there that adults will think will be funny that kids probably won't get.
Perfect.
And it kind of caught me off guard because I was like, wow, I can't believe they just did that.
Oh.
But it's really good. It'll be a fun show to kind of just watch in my spare time. Well done. Wasn't sure that would actually be good because, remaking starting over with a classic.
Yeah.
The other thing I did on HBO Max was I ventured into the section of Turner Classic Movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is probably actually my favorite part of HBO Max. And
amen.
I watched Casablanca for the first time.
Nice.
You did?
I did.
Oh,
I have tons of those movies added to my list.
good.
And I'm really excited because one of my goals this year was to watch more classic movies. Unfortunately, they're just kind of hard to find.
Now you found some.
No, there's a bunch I can watch. But Casablanca, I thought was really good. It wasn't what I was expecting. I was also surprised with how much I liked it. Mm-hmm. Also, watching black and white movies is really fun
I love it.
because they have to. It seems like they have to do so much different stuff with just like lighting, because you can't get all the different colors coming in. But I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to watching more movies in that section.
Yeah.
What was the other thing I did? Oh, the last thing I did was I watched America make history by doing the first commercial space launch.
Yeah.
Space.
Space.
The final frontier.
We all watched that and like didn't communicate to each other that we were all going to be watching that.
I
Yeah.
was
It was kinda cool.
amazed after the fact to see on social media
Like how many people?
How many people were
Yeah.
watching that? That was awesome.
So, like, when was the original launch? Was this supposed to be Wednesday? Wednesday? So I watched their live stream all day. Mm-hmm. I watched the whole thing.
All the way to the countdown.
All the way till T-minus 10 minutes when they're like, we're scrubbed. And I was like, gosh darn it.
all the build
I was so excited, and I was like, well, Saturday. Saturday ended up going golfing. And then I set a reminder on Twitter to be notified. And so 5 minutes before I get this buzz in mid-hole 16, I'm like, wait, Dad. Walking down the fairway, watching Space Dragon go up into orbit. Oh, so awesome to see.
Yeah. It was super cool.
Yeah.
I say
I got kind of emotional watching
I
it.
did too.
I was like, oh man, I did not think this would impact me this way.
I sat down on the floor next to Claire and was just like, this is a moment.
Yeah.
I need to
history
remember.
right
It's
there.
so cool. It's so cool.
And like, my dad didn't know really everything that had gone on with like SpaceX and all the new technology they developed. And I was like, oh, they just landed the Falcon 9 back on the drone. He's like, what? He's like, they landed the rocket back on Earth. And he's like vertically? I was like, yeah. And he's like, what? It's just really, really awesome stuff. I can't wait for just new ventures out into space. Like, I'm really excited for Artemis to take off, going back to the moon. Let's go to Mars, baby. I'm excited.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And I played Destiny, obviously.
Yeah, you did.
What else is new?
My man.
I'm on that Destiny train, and it ain't stopping anytime soon.
No, we got a new season coming out next week.
Next Tuesday?
Yep.
Yeah. I'll jump into a little HBO Max thing too, and I'll start there for my week. So, as Luke said, HBO Max came out, and I immediately went back to one of my favorite childhood shows, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air,
Nice.
and started watching that again. That show holds up, man. It seriously is so good. Just every moment in the first episode that everybody knows about, I forgot how many of them were like in that first episode. There's so many golden moments there. And that's really all I've watched on HBO Max. That's all I've cared to watch. I like booted up. I'm like, let's go see Fresh Prince. Just hit play. I don't know what I'm doing. So I've been watching that again, and I'm really enjoying it. Also played Destiny with these two goons. I read Batman Last Night on Earth. It is Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's last Batman story ever told. Is what they call it. It's how it's advertised.
Oh, wait. Is it the Snyder Cut?
It's Scott Snyder's cut.
Okay. So you're telling me
There was a Snyder cut that already
the
exists.
Snyder Cut was released?
Yeah.
What
No,
have we been tweeting about for 6 years?
It's a DC Black Label. It's been 3 years, but you know, to each his own.
Feels like 6.
It does feel like 6. But no, it was a really good story. I would say it's a fanboy worthy just because it kind of gets. It's Scott Snyder, so it's weird, and like you just have to accept that. But if I was giving like an elevator pitch to get somebody to read this book, I would say, yeah, so Batman is solving a mystery, gets shot, wakes up, and he was never Batman. and that's where the story starts. Have
That is
fun.
crazy.
And so you're like, what? And that's it. Just goes from there, and it's an apocalyptic story. It's Mad Max meets Batman.
Yes.
It's really good. So I finished that. I'd give it a fanboy worthy. I finished Doom Patrol on DC Universe. Finally, I went back
finally
recently and started it and watched it again. Caught up to obviously where I was, and then finished the show. That is a fanboy worthy as well, just because I think it's the weirdest show I've ever watched.
You're so right. There's nothing comparable to
This was the conversation I had with Luke. I text Luke after I finished it, and I go, Doom Patrol is possibly the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And Luke goes, you're right, it is. And I say, but it's also incredibly good. He's like, yep, you're also right. Like, it's seriously so good. It's just, I know for a fact it's not for everybody. There's no way. It's so weird.
You have an episode where a dude whose mind is in a robot is being controlled by a rat inside of him.
There's a
Messing up his
kaiju
wires.
episode. There's an episode where there's a...
They're like stuck in a snow globe.
Yeah, they're stuck in a snow globe. There's a genderqueer street that is alive.
Oh, Danny's the best.
Danny is the best. There's a lot of weird stuff. And, Grant Morrison is a weird guy, and it makes sense. But highly recommend that show if that sounds something you're into.
It's available on HBO Max.
It is available on
and
HBO
DC
Max.
Universe, so.
It is. I would recommend watching on DC Universe for support. That's just me. And then I started Dune. I mentioned that last week, and I'm just about 200 pages in. And guys,
Out of how many?
880.
Okay.
We are in for something crazy this December. That is an insane story. Like,
I'm so excited.
this was written, when was Dune published? I mean, it was a long time ago.
84, 85, something like that.
And you think, like, some of the stuff he talks about in there, you're like, it would be relevant as future tech today. And, like, that's super cool to me.
Yeah.
But no, Dune is awesome. I am loving it. I am kind of powering through it pretty quickly. Like, I can't sit down and read one chapter. I have to read like 2, 3, 4 chapters at a time. Just because
65.
I was gonna say I thought it was older than that.
It was older, yeah.
And some of the language they use in the book, I could tell it was older, just because like some of the things they say like have different meanings now than what they're trying to get across. Context helps. But highly recommend Dune if you have not read it and you're into sci-fi. This is kind of I would call this book the birth of modern sci-fi. I mean, it's the trailblazer for it. Mm-hmm. And I see why it caught on. But yeah, if you haven't read Dune or if you're interested in Dune, I would highly recommend it. And I'm not done yet. I also know why Timothée Chalamet was cast as Paul. It makes so much sense.
Because he's a good actor?
Well, I think this book was written with him in mind, even though he wasn't alive yet.
Oh my goodness. Frank Hebert is he's a psychic.
Yeah,
That does not surprise me.
He knew.
he did know. But that is all
Everyone
I
in
did.
the 60s doing all them drugs, they're
Yeah.
all psychics.
I also finished
Goes on an acid trip and he thinks Timothée Chalamet is going to be
Paul Atreides.
Paul Atreides. And then he finishes the book.
Yeah.
No, and then I finished all the in-game stuff for Pokemon Shield this weekend because the new DLC comes out this month.
I didn't know they had a Marvel crossover event there.
The in-game stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Does it also cross over with...
There was more stakes
Batman
in the end of
Endgame?
this one than there was in in-game, though.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Have you read Batman Endgame? That's Scott Snyder and Capullo.
No, I have not.
Oh,
I've heard it's really good, though.
it's good.
I'm excited for Zero Year.
Okay, well, I have not been doing a ton.
That's a shame.
Steph and I are still going through Rick and Morty season 4. We just have the last episode left. That continues to be fantastic television.
It's a funny show.
It is a funny show. And very intelligent.
Yes.
It's smart and witty and dumb all at the same time. It's amazing. Other than that, Steph and I have also started going through Harley Quinn. So we're having a lot of fun with her. Again, I'm my second time through.
How far are you guys?
Halfway through the first season,
Nice.
so we're starting to like actually gear up, and we got to meet Aquaman.
Yes.
That episode, that's when King Shark takes off as a character. too.
Yeah.
That's like the start of his amazingness.
Yep. And then the other thing I've been doing is
works.
I've been rewatching a documentary series called The Untold History of the United States. It's an Oliver Stone documentary series. I think it's about 10 episodes long. Kind of goes over like a lot of those things that you didn't maybe hear about or learn about in school. You know, the formation of a country isn't always all sunshine and rainbows, and governments aren't always don't always have the cleanest hands.
What?
I know, right? But interestingly, like with everything that's going on right now, I just happened to be on, I think, episode 7, which is about the 1960s and, you know, some of the racial tensions along with Vietnam and Nixon and like all that crazy stuff. And I think it's really relevant. So like whether or not you want to watch the entire series, I definitely would recommend people going on Netflix and checking out episode 7, I believe, of The Untold History of the United States. So
Sweet.
really, it's interesting how I think society tends to repeat itself.
Yeah.
Like history's cyclical in a way, because a lot of what was happening back then is relevant now. We can learn a lot, I think, from history. So I recommend doing that. So, and then I played some Destiny as well.
I saw a shirt this weekend, and it kind of, what you're saying kind of reminds me. It says, English is important, but history is importanter.
I like that. That's a good shirt.
Yeah. The guy was wearing a steampunk hat in Walmart.
Ooh, I want to meet that guy.
Yeah.
He sounds very interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He has a point. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe had we gone in the steampunk direction, are you saying we would be?
I don't know, but history is importanter.
Yes. True.
That's what I learned this weekend.
True.
From him.
Remember that.
From him, yeah.
English is important. History is importanter.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well,
I like
should we hit up some news?
Let's do it. Was there any trailers?
No.
Okay, good,
I
'cause
didn't,
write
see
any
any
down.
trailers.
I didn't see any trailers this week. I think other than the Destiny one today.
So
The teaser trailer.
and that's not even like out officially.
Yeah, I know they posted
like
it and then
It's like
deleted it.
yeah.
They're like, oh crap.
Someone
People
grabbed it
always snatch those up quick.
so fast. But I understand why they don't want to put it out right now. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
in any case. So yeah, no trailers as far as I know.
So relevant to this, all the space travel that's going on right now, Tom Cruise's space movie got a director in Doug Liman.
What?
Yeah, did you not hear this?
I did not hear
Yeah.
this.
Doug Liman, Edge
Nope.
of Tomorrow,
I was gonna say, didn't he do Edge of
Born
Tomorrow?
Identity.
Yeah.
He did American Made with Tom Cruise.
They've got a good working relationship, and I think
yeah.
what they produce, I like. I don't know, like
Yeah.
if those movies have been, I mean, critically, or not even maybe critically, but financially, like his biggest hits.
Yeah.
But I'm all here for that partnership.
I'm super pumped for that. And that movie's going to be wild.
Yes.
But it'll probably also will never come out because Tom Cruise is probably going to die in space.
They just need to release the Lyman cut after that.
Oh, jeez.
They'll just, you know, do like get someone else to body act, then just put a 3D face model on top of that actor. They'll just make sure to 3D
I was gonna say
scan
he
his
did.
face.
I know he did Chaos Walking.
Movie that's
yeah.
never going to come out.
This image has been on the internet for 4 years.
They just need to put that on whatever.
HBO Max.
Yeah, just throw it on there, leave it.
Yeah.
Artemis Fowl that thing.
Agreed.
But yeah, super excited for that. What you got?
I'm just going to mention the 2 reveals that were due this week are now moved. Madden was supposed to be revealed today, June 1st. that got moved, and then the PS5 reveal event that was scheduled for June 4th has now been moved as well.
So, on top of that, something that I just saw in Twitter, the new Call of Duty season is getting
Delayed. Man, I should have been playing this weekend.
So,
Could have maybe maxed out.
that's breaking news as of
right this very
recording.
moment.
Yeah, like within the
Love
last
it.
15 minutes.
Love
So, it'll be interesting to see. You know, we had a whole round of delays due to COVID and the pandemic and stuff like that, and it'll be interesting to see how industries kind of react to now with the social justice movement happening. Like, are things going to get delayed also because of that? My guess is not much, but probably especially if
A
we're
week or so.
talking about things. Yeah.
There's more important things happening
There are
Right.
than
there
video
are.
games.
There are.
Totally
You're right.
agree. I only have 2 other stories. They're both acting related.
Why don't you let us know what they are?
Okay, so J.K. Simmons is back as J. Jonah Jameson.
Yes. Surprising
No one.
right?
Making everybody happy.
Yeah, everybody's pleased with that. Great choice. It's awesome.
Good news.
He-
Finally.
he's no longer Commissioner Gordon, so
Yeah.
he's got the time
He's got one more chance, kind of.
in the Snyder Cut.
It'll be the same thing he already did. He won't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't have to get ripped again.
Then the other one
Jim Gordon.
also pertains to superhero movies, and that is that Henry Cavill is essentially back as Superman.
This is weird.
This is weird.
This whole thing, negotiation
This story
thing,
is
is
some
odd.
strange triangle because you had one side going, yeah, he's back, but not in his own movie.
Yeah.
He's going to be in a cameo role, Hulk type, showing up in other people's things. And then that got backtracked saying, no, he's just in negotiations right now for something.
Yeah.
And then John Campy's like, J.J. Abrams is directing his movie. I'd appreciate some clarification eventually.
At
I don't
some
need
point.
it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
I think the confirmation, I look at, so I listen to a lot of sports podcasts, right? And it was, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. Mm-hmm. That was like the rule. And this person has now since passed away, but that was his rule. Don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. And Henry Cavill posted, hello, old friend with a weight bench. That tells me all I need to know. The deal's done. He's Superman again.
Superman good.
what if he just hadn't worked out for like 3 weeks?
Look at that dude.
What if his dog was stuck in Canada or something? And he's like, hey, old friend. And this happened to be.
No, he's Superman. He
No,
posts
he's
way
Superman.
too much weight stuff when he's
You know what
training
this
for
actually
Superman.
means, though, guys?
What if he just got the
Our
script?
movie's gonna happen.
We're gonna get the Sandberg cut of
Shazam? We've already gotten a preview for it.
with.
Have you seen
I
it?
have seen
Yeah.
it. That was great.
Well, we'll probably-
we're the only thing that's changed is that we actually
Yes.
see Cavill's face at the end.
Yes. WB, I will give you my entire bank account to release that movie.
I'll buy another copy of it.
Yeah.
How about that? I'm not
that's,
giving
well,
you
that's my entire bank account.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just one copy of Shazam. That's all I have.
$23.
Yeah. $22.96. But it's cool, man.
I'll cover the tax.
Thanks
It's
for the
fine.
benefit.
I hope, honestly, all those, except for the not coming back, he's just negotiations are true. Like, I'd really like him to get his own movie, but also make cameos.
Yeah.
This is the only way I think it makes sense. One, his own movie, right? Mm-hmm. Give him a sequel. Let him tell the story of Superman that he wants to tell. 2, the Black Adam movie. Mm-hmm. That glass of tequila he shared with The Rock 5 years ago, it was not for nothing.
So I'm
That's a
actually
thing.
more on the Shazam 2 train because he can show up.
And tell Shazam
then-
about Black Adam.
He can show up, get absolutely destroyed by magic, and then it's a canon weakness for him, like it is in comics. And then he'd be like, I'm actually more of a danger to you here helping you because I'm going to die. So I'm sorry, but
You gotta
here's
deal
how you
with-
beat Hero.
Yeah.
You got this. See ya.
That would be the most fun Superman thing he's ever got to do, I
Like
think.
he's going to be like, I got this.
And his hair is going to do that weird thing that it does.
And the S is going to be all melty. He's going to get all pwned by
He's going to get pwned by a caterpillar.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
No, I do
like
think
to see that.
he'll fight Black Adam, though.
What do you guys think about the J.J. Abrams rumor?
I'm fine with
Definitely
it.
a rumor.
Look,
I mean, if it comes to be, I'm fine with it because more Superman's always good, in my opinion. I know you hate JJ.
I will be
but-
no. I do not hate J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams needs to make one-off movies so that he doesn't get his head stuck in mystery boxes.
Hey, well, perfect.
So-
That's what DC's trying to do right now. That's exactly what they're trying to do, is do one movie at a time.
I feel like Superman matches his style of film, like tonally, really well. So I think he'd do good. Plus, just the fact there's not really a lot of mystery boxes I feel like you can do
With Superman?
with Superman.
That maybe is what scares me more.
He'd find one.
What is he gonna find?
I'm gonna go get lost in this mystery box. It doesn't exist. And then Brett will be sitting in the theater like, oh, I can't do this.
Look, my favorite J.J. Abrams things are his original stuff. Mm-hmm. I want JJ to do original things that don't have this inherent baggage that comes along with it. Because I think I really enjoy the original Star Trek reboot movie. I think that one was done
It's good.
pretty good. That was a pretty good movie. And I don't know what was happening with Beyond. Into Darkness.
Don't you be talking bad about
I
Beyond.
like Beyond. I like Beyond. Also,
That's the only one I haven't watched.
Who directed that? That was
Justin Lin.
Yeah.
I do like Justin.
And then obviously we have the whole Star Wars thing, which is I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna put it over here. I'm gonna forget about it. It's fine.
You're gonna put it in a JJ mystery box, and you're gonna just wonder what it is.
He'll open it at next year's Comic Con. Don't
You're
worry.
like, what is that?
No, that's a mystery box for Claire to like as she gets older figure out what's in that mystery box. Why is Daddy insane?
What if Claire watches the most recent trilogy like 9 years from now, and her favorite one is 9?
And her least favorite's 8.
Yeah.
What would you
Good
do?
for her. I am not here to tell her what she should enjoy as entertainment.
Then you're gonna start a spin-off podcast about Star Wars, and you're gonna have fun daddy-daughter debates.
Yes, absolutely.
She would win. I'm Team Claire.
Me too.
Sorry, man.
I see how it is.
That's all I got.
I have another news story.
Did it just break?
Yesterday, 2
Nice.
days ago,
Yesterday.
Netflix bought the Egyptian Theater
Oh yeah.
in Hollywood.
Wow.
So let the
What the complaints about how their movies aren't viable for Oscars stop now because they can just put it in their own theater.
and I think this opens the floodgates. We will shortly be seeing Disney pick up its own theater chain.
Oh, great.
We will see Amazon pick up its own theater chain.
Oh no.
As long as like Regal doesn't go away, so I can still.
Well, Amazon works with Regal. Amazon's gonna buy Regal. There you go.
We'll see.
Regal's
My
the
guess is
biggest
this.
one in the world, though.
My guess is it's going to be like not chains at first. It's going to be little theaters here and there. But I think with the economic hurt that theaters are in now, it would not surprise me at all, especially to see Amazon or Disney make a bid for one of the chains here in the U.S.
Universal should buy AMC. Since they won't play their movies.
Universal, yeah, they should do something. Universal.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
Hey, that's the thing. Universal did do something this week. They casted Ryan Gosling as the Wolfman.
That's right. Forgot about that.
He pitched to the
man.
movie, and they're like, "Yeah, and you're gonna star in it." And he's like, "All right, cool.
All right, why not?
Sure. You'll give me a bunch of money. I'll do it." God, I'm glad we said Universal. I didn't even think about that. Dark Universe is alive and well.
As long
Nah, that's dead.
I'm just glad it's not the
This is a
same.
new thing.
No, this is yeah.
The Invisible Man started it.
Something darker.
Something wicked this way comes.
Oh, that movie is physically out now. Invisible
BBS?
Man is.
Oh.
BBS is out.
Yeah, it's
need
been
to-
out for a while.
I need to actually go to a store and buy these things.
Yeah.
There's several Blu-rays.
Going
I
to
need
stores
to
is
buy.
scary though. People here in Kansas don't wear masks.
Dude, this is.
Set
I
the-
went to Walmart this weekend and
Set the
I
record.
learned that history is important here. So go to Walmart, man. You never
Okay,
know.
they'll teach me something at Walmart.
I'm gonna go to Target. I like Target more.
I do like Target also. They have Starbucks. Oh, that's probably closed though. No.
It's not closed. It's open.
I feel like most things, especially in Wichita, are open. At this
Yeah, Wichita's
Yeah,
open.
that's true.
Except for the movie theater.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
All right,
That's all my news.
I got a couple more.
hit it.
First thing, speaking of the Invisible Man, Lee Whannell's Upgrade is getting a sequel in the form of a TV show.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know. I didn't write it down, or it didn't say.
What?
It didn't say. I'm gonna go with it's their fault.
I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I love Upgrade. If you want to watch a really fun sci-fi movie, go look up Upgrade. I don't know what it's on, but it's probably on one of the things. The next thing, James Mangold was confirmed
Oh yeah, that was the thing too.
to be directing Indiana Jones 5, which is just, I think, really good for the Indiana Jones series.
It's probably the best thing that can happen at this point for Indiana Jones, short
Yeah.
of it like just going away. Because I know there's a lot of people, probably myself included, I tend to be a little more cynical, who just like let it like just put it on the shelf and let it exist as it is. It
Go
doesn't
set it
need-
next to the J.J. Abrams mystery box on the shelf.
But you know, classic Disney. Disney got a
What
Disney.
about J.J. Abrams to direct it?
Yeah,
He would put so many mystery boxes in that one.
that is where a mystery box would be appropriate. But only like
But then in the sequel, he'd try and, or somebody would try and explain them all, but then nobody would like it. And then in the next one, he'd have to retroactively try and fix all of them.
yes, for sure, for sure. Oh gosh.
It's produced with NBC Universal.
Oh.
It'll probably be on Peacock.
Peacock.
Let's see.
They have a free version of that
At
though.
least they have a free version.
The last thing I have is, you sent this to us actually, Brett. Scott Derrickson is directing
yeah.
the sequel to Labyrinth.
Right. I forgot about that.
Another prediction down the
Didn't
drain.
write it, but
You want to know what's really disappointing? I was looking at the predictions I didn't choose that I wrote down, and Henry Cavill as Superman coming back was one of them. It's like, why?
I've never seen Labyrinth, and I'll probably never watch it.
Yep, I'm there with you.
But I saw some people were excited, I guess, and some people were
Look.
very against it.
Labyrinth is fine. It's definitely a movie where if it's not your thing, it's not your thing, and you're probably never gonna like it.
Yeah, I won't.
I wouldn't guess either of you would probably like it. Although I don't know if I would have pegged you to ever like Casablanca. It's not like Casablanca, but
They're the same movie. One's black and white, one's in color with puppets.
Is Labyrinth
is
the
puppets,
dream that
Labyrinth
Ilsa
has
is having?
puppets.
it does have some puppets
Yeah.
in it.
When she does Ilsa sleep in Casablanca, and she's like dreaming herself as Jennifer Connelly?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Can I,
Casablanca, though, is like an interesting love story. Whereas I don't even know what Labyrinth's about.
I think
That's
David
weird
Bowie
Gremlins
was in it.
I'll be there because it's Derrickson, and because I think they have to move on. Obviously, David Bowie no longer with us, so like they have to move on.
Oh, Tilda Swinton's gonna pick that role up.
So, so I think there could be something
Don't
interesting
say I didn't
there.
warn you.
But anything that a creator is excited about, I'm excited for them.
I'll just watch Sinister
Unless
on Netflix
it's
that
J.J.
week.
Abrams. Just kidding. I am throwing a lot of shade at J.J. today, aren't I?
You are. Let's move on.
Should we watch Super 8 so we can make it feel good about
Yes, I do love that movie.
I've never seen that movie.
it? We should watch Super 8. That's a great movie.
Should watch Super 8.
I'll watch it.
Let's do it. Let's watch Fanboys and then watch Super 8.
Fanboy's like 45 minutes. That's perfect.
Yeah.
And then we have to watch
feature.
something that I haven't watched.
What have you not watched?
I feel like you've watched
Another
more than
Turner
both of us.
classic movie.
We're watching
Citizen Kane.
Citizen K.
Yay. How long is that?
We can
movie?
watch The Sound of
like
Music.
3 hours.
I've never seen The Sound of Music.
That's like 5 hours.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Just take a bathroom break.
Oh no,
about
not the Sound of
2.5
Music.
hours.
I was thinking of
Lord of the Rings extended.
say Lord of the Rings.
no. What's
We can watch
the
those.
Kind of the same.
Yeah, it's a musical.
Gone with the Wind?
Oh,
I've seen half of Gone with the Wind. I was part of this like movie club, and we were watching Gone with the Wind for this week, and we watched the first half, but like nobody showed up that week. And we're like, oh, let's just finish it next week,
You never finished it.
and we never finished it.
did you ever watch
That
another
does
movie?
not surprise me at all.
Did you ever watch another movie?
I don't know if Chris and Zach did.
What about the Maltese
couldn't-
Falcon? You should watch the Maltese Falcon. It's a good one.
Isn't Maltese like a type of chocolate? Like a Maltese ball?
Corto Maltese is a place in the DC world.
It is. It gets nuked in Dark Knight Returns. Anyway,
All right.
I'm done.
Should we move on to our topic tonight? We should
Yes.
move on to our topic tonight. Let's do it.
Destiny.
Destiny 2
This is-
raids.
This is where a bunch of people check
Destiny.
out because they don't care about video games.
That's right.
Bye, Mom.
So raiding in Destiny.
Can we get my mom into a raid?
Sure.
Just see. So,
Why not?
like, they asked me to like come over for dinner. I'm like, no, I can't. We're gonna raid and stuff, so I don't go over that night. And then like I explain what a raid is to them. And I feel like I'm not doing it justice because I'm like, everybody's doing something different at the same time, and I have no idea what's going on.
Everybody's doing something different, but it's the same thing at the same time in different places.
and everybody's dying, but you also have to like shoot bad guys the whole time.
And you're
It's
all
super
talking to
stressful.
each other and you're talking over each other.
You're
Just kinda
trying to
we
open
are
a
now,
Mountain Dew
and it's
mid
like,
encounter.
Tyler, I'm down. You gotta cover me, man.
I don't have a rest token. I'm sorry. There was a fair bit of crying. No, it's not true. Oh,
Well, throughout the process of going through all of these, there were some moments
I was say so.
of anger. And
So this weekend, Tyler and Luke finished the quest to play all of the Destiny 2 raids. I technically finished it as well in terms of like I had never actually beaten Garden of Salvation.
What?
Yeah, I'd played up and I'd played the final encounter, but I'd never.
You just
beaten
never beat it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey,
So,
well, ironically, we beat it when he wasn't there. So
that was.
that was amazing.
I don't even understand how that
I'll
worked.
tell you how it worked. When Lepke wasn't in the portal, I was defending Brett's body. When I was in the portal, Lepke was defending Brett's body, and we just rotated the entire time, keeping Brett alive. Because he was standing on the stairs when he got back. Lepke would come out of the portal, throw his little Titan shield thingy up next to you, and then he'd go off and do his
That
thing.
is so funny.
I love it. I thought for sure I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, so long story short, we're in the final encounter of the raid.
well into it, too.
Well into it, but it's not going well.
Stress is at like
Admittedly,
peak capacity.
but things are not going well. I was pretty convinced we were just gonna wipe in any second, anyways. And I hear above me upstairs, we have a split level, so like where I sit and game, you can like look up and see people upstairs. Like it's what 12:30,
It wasn't
1, 12.
It wasn't even. We finished it before 12:30.
I think it was probably 12,
Yeah.
15.
around midnight.
Yeah. It was late or early.
Stephanie comes out with Claire because Claire had gotten up and she was complaining. I was like, oh no. And I was so frustrated. I was like, this is terrible timing. We're gonna,
You had
this
just
just seems
died.
like chaos. So I'm just gonna, like, go take care of my kid right now, and I'll come back and we'll reset and we'll try again. So I go up. I take my sweet time. I do
Yeah,
not
you were
rush
gone
it.
for a while.
I do not rush it. And I'm like, well, Claire, she needed a drink, so I poured her some milk, and I got and then
sounds
I walked
good.
her back to bed, and I put her under covers. Okay. I'm like, okay, well. And so I'm walking down the hallway, and I'm seeing that there's like action happening. I'm like, what? And I realize that like I'm still alive somehow.
You put on your headset, you just hear.
What is going on?
No, he puts on his headset and he goes, "You guys are still alive?" Like, yeah, dude, we're rolling.
So, like, props to you for keeping me alive. We go on, and that run, we beat it. I don't know how. I really wish I had been recording that, or someone had been recording it, because that was...
We
blew my
five-manned
mind.
it.
I feel like we did a disservice to our rating crews by never having somebody, at least one person.
Yeah, we probably should have.
Oh, we're starting over, boys. Let's do it again. Except for
Take it from the top, Leviathan. Prestige. No.
So now that we've come to the end of this journey, I thought it would be fun to look back and talk about raids and what were kind of some of our favorite moments or favorite raids or encounters, those kind of things. Where do we want to start?
I'm going to start by thanking Lepke, Ricky, Hunter, Bjorn, Mike. His name.
Michael.
Ha! I guessed it and I was right. Mike, Joel, and anybody else who helped us with the raids.
Mac Addict.
Mac, that's right.
helped
Yeah, he
us
never came
once.
back. I like that guy. So thank you to them. That's where I'll start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were pretty important to helping us finish all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially Ricky with his cheese methods.
Yeah.
Dude, Ricky's got the cheeses down.
He does. He does.
Good if
love
you're.
cheese so much. And every time somebody says cheese, I think of like real cheese and I'm like, I want a grilled cheese. Sorry.
Okay,
I got distracted by cheese.
Brett, continue on.
Well, no. So thinking we just beat the newest one. When you think back to Leviathan, what was that? When you think back to Leviathan, now what does that seem easy? Is that still confusing? What are your reactions to Leviathan specifically?
I think Leviathan has some of the best mechanics overall.
Yeah.
I think they're the most creative of all the mechanics that don't feel like gimmicky. Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about Leviathan. It feels like the least gimmicky raid. Feels like if everybody does everything, like if everybody does their things right, you'll succeed. Whereas like other raids, as we learned, like everybody can do everything right and one little thing can mess it up. Like you stood too close to a plate and it registered even though you weren't standing on it, or things like that. That didn't happen in Leviathan.
Leviathan is one of the more forgiving raids for sure.
It's
for sure.
one of the tighter raids too, I think.
And I love the variety of encounters. Like typically,
Like you have the pools are so much different from Gauntlet, which is nothing like the dogs.
and even the throne room,
Yeah.
Callus is like it borrows the platform is like the only thing. Like even the main mechanic of like going in and shooting these skulls to get a damage multiplier, that's nowhere else in the raid. So yeah, I think it's a really unique raid. It's up there for me. But do we just go through like a simple ranking, or how do we want to?
Yeah, I went least favorite to most favorite.
Okay,
in
sure.
mine.
What's your guys' least favorite?
For me, it's Scourge.
You were
For me, Scourge, it just didn't work for me. I had random deaths out of nowhere. I felt like the first encounter, and I'm putting the Sparrow section included in with it.
yeah.
I felt like if I didn't do anything at all in that, you guys would have been fine.
Bro, yeah.
Like I felt like you didn't need everybody for that one. It was like, okay,
Scourge is honestly probably 5 manable.
yeah. And so like
It probably works better
the
with 5
first-
people.
for the first third of that, I was bored. And the Sparrow Racing I thought was dumb because
It's too. Everybody's too crowded.
it's too
so
crowded.
hard.
I think it could be a really cool idea, but maybe spread it out more. And I don't know, you have to follow a certain path
I think they
based
should make
on
it
where you
2
start or
lanes.
something.
Ooh,
I don't know,
That
like-
could be cool.
I think it should be 2 lanes.
And, like, you're, like-
where you have one team that
Yeah.
has to go top, one team has to go bottom, and you both have to hit switches. I think that would make it better.
Yeah.
Because all 6 people in one lane is just a nightmare. I've never made it through it.
Yeah, we
I've done
tried
that
it
raid like
3
5 times and I've never made it through.
The first time we did it, you guys were like, "Hey, Luke, get up the front. You never done this." And everybody goes at the same time, and I immediately died. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna hate this." Then the middle bit with the symbols and the punching and the tanks. The tanks are so hard to drive.
Yeah.
you,
that it's
you probably
irritating.
should have been on the outside for that.
And then that's where I experienced a lot of glitching.
Yeah.
And I
Luke just blew
do-
up and died.
I was running down below and just I was a ghost, and I was like, "What the heck?"
I just remember.
What
I
did I
remember
do
hearing
to
Ricky
deserve
go.
this?
I went down there and there's nothing there. I don't know how he died.
I'm with you, man. Still don't know.
It's so funny.
I thought the last encounter when you do fight the main boss was good. But yeah, overall, just frustrating and
It was a bad experience.
yeah, which definitely goes into it being at the bottom that I just didn't have that much fun doing.
I have
that
one like that too. Don't worry. Mine is Crown of Sorrow. I just did not like the mechanic of having to pass the buff back and forth the entire time. It just felt so easy to screw up. It to use your word, it wasn't forgiving.
Yeah.
If one person had one mistake, the whole thing was a wipe. It just, I don't know. Like to me, that the raid shouldn't be as long as it is, but it's long because the one mechanic they carry throughout the whole thing is so easy to screw up.
Yeah.
that it's just not fun to me.
And I find with mechanics that involve you splitting into 3 groups rather
It's a
than
disaster
2.
because nobody can hear anybody.
Well, that's where you lose that ability to like fix something. Because like with this one, you only ever like you're in 3 pairs of 2, and if one person who has the buff loses it, you're almost completely screwed unless you really have to work with the other teams then. Whereas when you're in pairs of 2 teams of 3, there's almost always someone there to help. I don't know. There's
Alleviate issues. I agree.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
So I totally resonate with that. It's down there for me. Crown is my second least favorite.
It's my second least favorite too, and the reason I didn't put it as my least favorite, I think Crown is the most frustrating one by far. But when we beat that one, nothing felt better.
Yeah.
That was the
That was
best
the only
win
one that
we
took
got.
us 2 nights.
Yeah, it did take us 2 nights, didn't it?
We cheered really hard when we beat that one, and I just felt so proud of us for getting through it, because that one was
It was brutal.
It was unforgiving. It was very complicated. It did not leave very much room for error, if any at all.
Yeah.
And we crushed it on that last one.
The run it's kind of a theme. The run we beat it on was probably a disaster.
Yeah.
Like I think
But
2 of us died on the way to damage phase. Like it was just all bad.
But we rally, man,
Yeah.
and we get it together, and we
We were definitely a resilient
socked
group.
that big man thing,
Galron.
Galron. Yeah, that's his name.
The tribal warrior.
He's a bather.
Well, he should have stayed in the baths.
That was
should've.
his sole purpose, was to wear that crown.
Yeah.
So interestingly enough, my least favorite is one that we haven't mentioned yet, Spire of Stars. Which this run that we did as our group was the smoothest it had ever gone for me. Which completely surprised me. But I think especially that second to last encounter gets so complicated with all of the different individual steps of arming, standing on plates when you have to stand on plates, catching balls, passing balls, going up with the ball or without the ball,
Punching the signal.
punching the things, throwing the balls at the things. It's so complex that I think maybe just had they removed one element, I think I would have had a much more enjoyable time. But like I said, it actually went really smooth this particular time. So hard to really complain about it, but yeah.
I already talked about Crown of Sorrows, so that was my second least.
Mine is Spire of Stars. Is my second least. By far the worst raid experience I've had in Destiny 1 and 2. The Spire of Stars. I hated it. I don't want to.
Really?
I do not want to do it again. I did not enjoy that raid one bit. I was so glad when we finally beat it. It was pretty.
Yeah.
It certainly looked cool, but I just did not have fun. I think that was one of the only nights I really got pissed off when I was playing. I was not happy.
I'm trying to remember where you both had trouble with the jumping puzzle too on that one, right?
Eater of Worlds is the one I kept just missing, and I wouldn't grapple. Just on the plates. Just on the super simple jumping over each other.
Okay.
Like I couldn't just land on there, and I was
Yeah.
struggling.
Oh, yeah.
Or not the part where we were jumping over each other, the part before that. Where like you stand,
Yeah.
you stand, and you
That
just
was
keep
Eater?
moving one
That
at
was
a
Eater.
time.
Okay.
That was Eater. Yeah, Spires.
Fire was the one where you throw the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got lost on that one.
Yeah,
I
I
ended
tried
up
to
in
come
the
back
wrong
and help
spot.
you, and then I couldn't get back to you.
Spire, I switched to my Lion Rampant boots, so I was able to fly around a lot better.
I ended up in like the wrong place on that one. And I was
Yeah.
like standing over there like, guys, help me. But no, I didn't enjoy that one. I just didn't have fun.
So I'm seeing a theme of Crown and Spire being fairly low on all of our lists. I guess where did you say where Spire
For
was?
Spire,
Well, if it's higher, don't worry about
It's
it.
higher.
Okay. Then what's number 5 for you guys? Because you all said
my
your
number
6.
5 is Eater of Worlds.
Interesting. Okay.
I thought it was boring.
It's probably the quickest. I mean, Scourge is really quick too, but if you know what you're doing, you can get in and out of
Yeah.
Spire in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I thought like
Or
the opening
Scourge,
encounter in
Eater.
Eater was kill all these Cabal,
yeah.
and I was like, okay,
It's weird because
I thought-
it's the one raid that starts with a jumping puzzle.
yeah,
And then you go to like this little like, oh, just shoot some things for a few minutes, and then you only have 2 encounters.
I thought
Man.
I did think the stuff like where you fight the Vex person, I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
But just the opening encounter, I was like, bored, ready for the next step.
Yeah. Tyler, what's your 5?
Last Wish. Ooh. Yeah. This is
such a diversity.
this
here.
was
I
the
love
shocker
it.
for me because like when I was ranking them, I was having trouble, and I text Luke and I was like, Luke, I'm having a hard time, and he was like, just if you have a hard time, just think of the one you would not want to do again. And that's where Last Wish landed. It landed pretty low. Not because I don't want to do it again, but because I think that one took us so long.
It's very
And like for me, like I just felt like it shouldn't have. Like it just felt like a lot of stupid stuff kept happening, and it
Yeah.
was so frustrating. Like, oh, this is the plate you need to stand on, and we would be waiting to jump it together, and then we would jump, and one wouldn't work. I'm like, well, why is it not working? Like nobody's activated it, and so it was just super irritating to me. And we haven't done it legit yet.
Yeah, we do still need to do the final fight.
And so it's hard for me to say that I like it a lot. I hate the heart run at the end too.
Really?
I hate it.
I've been the dunker both times,
Yeah,
and I
he's
love
never
it.
had to go inside. But like,
does get a little
I've
stressful
been
inside.
the first one out of the mouth every time. So I never get to see
We
anything.
just gotta do some more runs then.
I just
Oh,
I just
it's not that exciting. You just
like I run like 20 feet and then it's like going in like, see you guys. I'm gonna go shoot stuff like that one encounter in Eater of Worlds and pick up an orb every now and again.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. And it does like this bait and switch thing where you think you beat it, and I don't know. I think it's kind of dumb.
It is also like what we were talking
here's
about
the
with
thing.
with Eater being the one that starts with the jumping puzzle. This one is the only raid that has like an epilogue, kind of.
So this is where I make my disclaimer. From 5 up, I love them.
Yeah,
Like I think they're all fun in their own way.
I would say I'm
Last Wish is awesome,
similar.
but it's my least favorite of my favorites.
the only one I actually didn't like was Scourge. I like all of them. Crown was super frustrating, but I still really.
I don't like the jumping puzzle on Crown.
on my ratings.
It's irritating.
On my ratings, 6 and 7, which are Spire of Stars and Crown of Sorrows, are both in the 7s, which is like, for me, a 7, it's fine. Like, I don't have emotion
It's
about
a
it.
high. It's fine.
It's fine. Because then 8's good.
I didn't write mine down,
9
so I'm
is
just making sure I
excellent,
know.
and 10 is perfect. So, spoiler: there aren't any 10s. There is a 10. It's in Destiny 1, and it's called the Vault of Glass.
What?
My 5 was Scourge of the Past, and it's good. That's kind of where I rank it. As it's like
Yeah.
it's fine. It's
From
a,
5 up,
it's
like
a
they're
quick,
all good.
It's a quick run through. It's fun bosses. The boss is fun. I think the tank section is actually really cool. Anytime one of the raids like incorporates something from the game that's never been in a raid before, like you don't see vehicles in
raids.
in raids, and we get a Sparrow race and tanks
Yeah.
in one. That's cool to me. So that's kind of probably what bumps it up above some of the others,
Yeah.
despite it being fairly short and not terribly lore filled and whatnot.
Yeah, it's a Black Armory run.
Yeah.
Boom. We do enough of those.
My 4 would be Spire.
Okay.
I had a blast with Spire. I thought that one was so fun. Because we did Leviathan, and it was fantastic. We did Eater, and I was like, oh. And then Spire, I felt like got back to the super intricate, everybody has something that they have to do in it. And we were struggling a bit sometimes, but just...
It really didn't take us that
That was
long.
the first one where there was a lot going on. And I was having a blast. I thought it was great.
Lots of people for you to punch in there.
Yeah, I never got to go up the elevator.
You didn't. Oh, I think did you? You got to go up the elevator at some point, right? I
It's super cool looking.
It is. It's
Yeah.
very
It's
cool.
awesome.
But so I'll be excited once I do get to go up there.
Yeah.
So
Oh, we'll do it
Do a
again.
little something different, but
For sure.
I had a blast with it.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
Yep.
That's the thing. Like, none of these are terrible.
No, no. Even the worst ones, they're good. They just typically
Yeah. There's
we had a
something
bad
about
experience in one regard or
Right.
another, right?
And I've done Scourge once, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the time I do it, I won't have the same issues.
yes, yeah.
Next time, I just probably won't even drive my Sparrow at all. I'll just be like, yeah, I'll just die.
I'm going to sacrifice myself to this giant servitor.
I'll put tempered metal on them.
There you go.
It
So-
won't do anything, but
My number 4 is Scourge of the Past. I like Earth. And I thought it was cool to get to do a raid there, even though it feels like a strike.
Yeah,
I do think the boss fight is a ton of fun. I think that has it's going to sound weird, but the most creative damage phase
yeah.
with
the tether.
with being tethered for parallel. What is it? Parallel,
Continuous and
angled, and
angled.
continuous. And I just think that was so cool. And so, like, the first time I cleared it, we ended up having to move to a different building. And the other buildings have those same things available. And so you have to, like, figure them out in each building. And I just
Yeah.
thought that was so cool. It's like, man, like, they have... Like, if you lose where he's at in the middle and you end up on another side, you can go to that other side, and you'll still have access to those same 3 things. Like, that's just so cool to me.
Yeah.
And just having to lure everyone, even though we cheesed it, I do see how it would work if you didn't. I think it would make it harder, but I don't think cheesing it takes anything away from it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
What was the cheese?
the runners go back and debuff on the joining
You have
allies.
to switch runners essentially.
Yeah. So essentially 2 people, you just rotate through all 6 of you, I would assume.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you probably have to
No.
do at least 4.
At least 4. I think
Yeah.
you could do 4.
Okay.
Which really wouldn't be that bad. You just have to make sure people are in the right places.
Yeah.
But ultimately, Scourge is cool. I think it's one of the prettiest raids, too. I liked being in the city.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was really cool because that's kind of a place in Destiny we never really get to explore very often.
You see it a lot because you're in the tower so often, but
you never get to be there.
don't ever get to go down, and so to be able to interact with the architecture is kind
Yeah,
of cool.
it was awesome.
You do go down there in the campaign.
Okay, yes, for one mission.
Cade's like, my arm.
But yeah, Scourge is at 4 for me.
My 4 is Garden of Salvation. It's near excellent. It's an 8.8 on my scale. So like the last 4.
It's an 8.899.
It's an average of. So that's an average of all of the encounters.
Gotcha.
So each encounter gets their own out of,
Out of 10.
yeah. So like the first encounter is 8.0, the second 9, the third 9.5, the jumping puzzle is a 9, the final boss 8.5, and then that all averages up to an 8.8.
That's cool. I like that.
So,
I like that system.
but yeah, like it's one of my favorite locations for a raid. I think it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
It's oh my gosh, it's like
It has my best looking award next to it.
getting able to, it's a 10.0
Oh, that was for me.
when it comes to art environment. See, Tyler, I have an art environment here. See, it's a 10.0 on art environment.
I would agree. It looks amazing.
But it does. I think it does a good job of balancing mechanics with complexity. Mm-hmm. So
The thing with mechanics is you have to... Complexity is great, but at a certain point, it's not fun anymore.
yeah,
And I think Garden draws that line very well.
Mm-hmm.
So my number 3 is Garden. So I'll just
dude, perfect.
Get it
into that.
started.
I thought all of the encounters were. This is where, from now on, all the encounters are good to me.
Yeah.
I especially loved the Gambit mechanics.
Yeah.
because I love
Very
Gambit.
very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing we had seen before.
So I had a ton of fun doing that one, and I thought the tether, like the thing that always kind of holds you back, like the curses. In this one, it's this tether. I thought that was thought it was really creative. Like you gotta stand in proximity with everybody to make this line of energy.
So I
But
think
that was fun.
one of the coolest things about that raid for us was like it was our group, and the second encounter was you, Hunter, and myself essentially, and then it was you, Lepke, and Ricky.
Right.
We had it going. Like Hunter would come through the portal and it sounded like you were already standing there waiting for him to go to where he needed to be, connect it, boom, close it, keep moving. And that's how I was too. Like he would come over, we'd knock it out and go right back. And that was so fun to me.
Yeah, if you get a good runner, you can, and Ricky was obviously a great runner as well, but because there were times when we wouldn't even have to talk. You'd hear, because you can, if you're paying attention, you can hear the portal, and you just kind of like, okay, I know I need to kind of rotate back, and he, as the runner, knows that he's going to help clear out the couple ads
That are left,
and then do the tether, and then he's back out the door.
Yeah.
So
Yep. I thought. Plus, that's to me was the most gorgeous one. I thought it was just so beautiful.
I
loved going back to the Black Garden.
Yeah.
Seeing all that. It was just so beautiful.
Yep.
My number 3 was Eater of Worlds.
Nice.
The first 2 encounters, sure, they're fine. But man, those last 2 are some of the best in Destiny. They are so cool. Like having the 3 different, I don't know, the little sacrifice things where there's Void, Arc, and Solar. Having to run back and forth between it all. Like it's a hunter's dream to just jump around and shoot stuff. Boom! It's so much fun. And I think Vex raids are the best raids.
I don't disagree.
Vex are my favorite enemies.
They're like the least. They're like the least explained right now too.
Yeah.
How is it that the enemy that we faced at the end of Destiny 1, they were like the penultimate enemy in Destiny 1 before any of the expansions, is it still
Before there was a story.
It's still the most unexplained enemy race. It's crazy. It's really cool. What are we on? 3? 3, Leviathan for me. I think it has a perfect, like kind of what you were talking about earlier. It's a each encounter is unique, and each encounter is very doable, even with a mostly new group. And I don't know if that's partially just because of how hard some of the new raids are. It makes it feel easier, but yeah, I love going in there and like leading in the dogs encounter. I love just leading people through like,
Yeah.
no, we can get to that flower.
You're gonna get there, I promise. Don't you quit on me, soldier.
So yeah, no, there's not much to say there. It was the first one for D2, and I still think it actually ranks higher than most of the D1's one.
That was your 3?
That was my 3.
Okay.
My number 2 is Leviathan.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. Lots of variation in what you're doing. Really cool setting. Plus, it being the first one kind of helps. You're just like, whoa.
Nothing beats rolling into Asgard the first time, man.
Dude, flying in, like you get to see your ship, you land, and you're on the footstep of this golden city.
And you're just like,
And you do that
oh
cool.
my.
You're like, oh yeah, let's go.
Here to party.
Yep. My number 2 is also Leviathan.
Nice.
I think the Leviathan is the best overall raid in D2. Meaning it's the tightest.
It's the best.
The
package.
mechanics are the cleanest.
You guys didn't even get to go into the underbelly.
We have not done the underbelly.
I've been in the underbelly.
Ooh.
I haven't completed it.
But
Go explore sometime.
yep.
I guess I didn't go too far. I was just there to collect stuff for Izanagi's Burden.
Oh.
So I didn't like go all the way down, I guess.
Yeah. No, you got to explore that.
I stepped in and went, ooh. And then I left.
It's pretty cool.
Leviathan number 2. The only thing that doesn't make it number 1 for me is the throne room. It gets too complicated.
It's pretty complicated. It is pretty dang complicated.
And like one of my biggest complaints about raids is just that like there's 6 people yelling over top of each other, and in that part it is so important to hear the people that are in the astral realm versus the people in the throne room, and it just gets too hectic and you can't hear each other.
I usually hit a point where I just don't say anything anymore.
The people in the throne room, the more you play with a group, the more you just get to the point where the people in the throne room do not need to talk at all.
Yeah.
They know exactly where they need to be because you've memorized where things spawn. and you're listening for those call outs. I think that I would agree that it gets a little chaotic, especially when you're in a fun group of friends and you like ribbing each other. And it's like, as soon as you teleport, you're still kind of talking over that last encounter or that last little fight before you get teleported. And it can, sometimes you have to be like, okay, guys, focus.
Yeah. No, the throne room just gets a little hectic for me.
Yeah. My number 2 is Eater of Worlds. I would echo exactly what Tyler said. The beginning is fine. It's nothing all that special, but I think the jumping puzzle was pretty unique.
Yeah, it's different for sure.
It's very different.
I imagine like being the first one doing it.
Not just a lot of jumping puzzles, especially previously, and even like in Garden, one person can just go. Right, and do it all by themselves. But this is one of those jumping puzzles at Crown of Sorrow also, where it requires teamwork. Yeah, and I really like that.
Yeah,
and then like what you said with the last 2 encounters, I think the last encounter is perfect.
They're brilliant.
I think it's the only encounter I gave a perfect on.
Perfect.
No, I also gave the heart a perfect. Sorry, I know you don't like that one.
I was wondering which one was left on his list. That I didn't mention yet.
Yes. But yeah.
About mine too? Or do you already know mine?
I don't know which one yours is.
All right. So that was my number 2, Eater of Worlds. Luke, what's your number 1?
Last Wish. Just visually, through the lore, I think the encounters are incredible. The second encounter, the puzzle marathon, I know we struggled with it and we kept losing at it and it was frustrating. But honestly, I did not really mind doing it over and over again because I thought it was so much fun.
It was fun to run through and kill everything and run against the timer. Like, I did enjoy that.
Yeah, and by the end of it, especially on that last one, I know me and Hunter had our kills and our supers timed down so that we really didn't have to worry about anybody. And it was just so much fun. And
yeah, because you and Hunter were on Puzzle Room Clear, right?
Yeah, we were just clearing ads. And there's a lot going on in that one, but I think it helps because you're constantly moving forward in it. And it kind of doesn't really make you realize how much you're doing.
You don't feel like you're running in a circle.
Yeah. But, oh, man, I loved that one so much. And then after that, I mean, probably the worst part of it, and the part I still really like, is when you go against the big man in the ball. You have to collect the Taken Essence.
Oh, yeah. Morgoth.
Yeah, him. That's probably my least favorite part. I still thought it was fun. Honestly, a breath of fresh air because it wasn't as involved. And obviously, you go into the vault and it's
super
beyond
confusing.
hectic.
Super confused. You have got to know.
I was really happy that I chose ad clearing on that one.
Yeah.
For the puzzle room?
For the vault with the rock tree
We
stairs.
also did it.
Oh,
Penumbra.
We also did it in a way I'd never done it before.
Yeah.
We usually split it up so that the responsibility is a little more divided.
Okay.
So that the people who stand on the plates are also the people who are doing the defending versus the ones that go in. Okay. And everyone else does the go in and run thing. So it was an interesting combination of those guys took, because I think all 3 of us were defending on that. We were all ad clear essentially. And those Ricky, Joel, and Hunter all took a lot of responsibility.
Oh, Lepke,
Joel, and Hunter.
And Hunter, took a lot of responsibility in figuring out and remembering where everything was.
And I've watched a video on it, and I still don't understand it. I'll probably understand it someday because I would love to keep.
We need to find a nice, simple graphic.
I want to do it again.
I think.
Too.
Yeah. I think there's some graphics out there that, if I remember right, kind of explain it nicely. So.
But yeah, I think
I'm gonna skip over
I will.
Yeah, just keep going.
Tyler.
I will say we did Cheese Riven, and it's still my favorite one.
Yeah.
And from like what Brett said, he's like, "Oh, it's the best. Like it's one of the best parts. It's a lot of fun fighting Riven." And
I was gonna mention Riven real quick since I knew you couldn't really talk about it. I think Riven is one of the most like what we were talking about earlier. It's complex, but it's not chaotic because it's still you're split into two teams. And you have to have good team chemistry. So you like if it's not working out, you have to speak up and you have to be willing to like flip. But everyone's still doing the same thing. It's just kind of on like at different times. It's really pretty clever with how it uses how the raid overall uses symbols throughout it, and then at the end how it uses it. As a mechanic in the final boss area. So
I really look forward to going back into that raid.
I'm glad you still get to experience, even with the cheese, doing like climbing up. I don't know if you guys realize that, but you're climbing up around Riven. She's like gripping this like crystal and you're jumping around her as you ascend up. It's really very visually cool if you pause to look at it.
When you have a moment to pause
That's
to
the
look
thing.
at it.
You don't.
And I didn't. I learned this today when I was watching the Final Heart section. When you go into the ball, because I never been in there, you can see the hands of the person holding it. So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You're literally trapped in her heart. It sucks you in. And then you're like, I'm trapped in here. Please let me out.
Yeah.
I got you.
But like real quick, also to echo on Luke, like I think it's with Garden. It's like with Garden. It's another perfect visually. I think it's beautiful. And I think it has the best lore attached to it. It
definitely has the most lore attached to it.
So deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I learned a lot today.
Harkening back to stuff that happened in Taken King, like how it's all tied together.
And stuff that's still
Still a mystery. Yeah. Yep. All right, Tyler, what's your number one, buddy?
Garden of Salvation.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with recency bias. It has everything to do with it was just fun. The Gambit mechanics. Again, it was forgiving. It makes me sound like a pansy when I say that. But I just like I like raids where not everyone has to be perfect because I think that's like unreasonable almost. And it kind of blurs the line of like mechanics being fun into just being frustrating.
Yeah.
But Garden doesn't have that. Like Garden, everything's really cool. It's quick. Like everybody's always moving.
We did that one so fast, I felt like.
Well, we were on point, and then we were having trouble because Brett wouldn't not play in the final encounter.
Yeah, I had to
get
step
off.
away actually for us to.
Claire's the real hero.
But the final encounter is usually like what makes or breaks a raid for me. And that's why Last Wish is hard for me to rate because like I don't really know what it's like.
Sure.
But in this one, like I love that everybody gets to teleport to different places. Like I think it's cool. Like you go over to this region because I remember when we got into that room, we all stopped and took a break. I think everybody went to the restroom, stuff like that. And Hunter walked over to my TV and he goes, "You see those two areas really far off to the sides?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're gonna go there." And I was like, "What?" Because like I didn't know. Like you don't know that, and you go into it and you get to run over there, and it's really cool being a runner in that final encounter. Hopefully next time you can do it instead of me or something, just so you can see it. Because like there's basically three essential like ad areas.
Yeah.
You run in and like I was running with Ricky. So Ricky would like throw bombs and everything would blow up. And just like, I'm going to go pick up these motes. And then
He
he'd do it
throwing
again.
that charge grenade a Warlock has.
I don't know what he was throwing, but he would super most of the time too when we got in there. But it was so fun.
I remember when we were playing and some people jump through the portal and I'm just doing my thing, killing ads or whatever, and I like see two names way off in the distance, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, that's where they go.
went."
Yeah, it's super cool. And like what's also really cool is like we would always finish the ads first and we could look back over and see you guys fighting everything. And it's just such a cool like visually that raid is mind-blowing already.
Yeah.
But like getting to look across and see your fire team fighting to bring you back. It's just such a cool thing because I mean, that's essentially what we're doing the whole time, is trying to keep everybody alive. And so we don't want to get stuck over there for too long. It was just a lot of fun. And it reminded me, this is weird, it's a weird connection, but building spires again just made me think of Vault of Glass. And I was like, oh man, that's a good raid.
I think the only real problem I had with Garden was the frame rate issues, which is going to happen with how much it looks like.
And see, what I've noticed is the newer content that's coming out now, there's more of it. It's almost like it's stressing the system too much or something. I don't know if it's optimization or what it is.
I cannot wait for the fall.
Yeah.
You guys get Series X's and you don't have frame rate issues, because I don't have frame rate issues on my 1X.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait either.
I had a few, but it was only in really hectic moments.
yeah.
And it never is like,
Never
I'm
broke
going to
the
die
game.
because of frame rate. It's just like,
Yeah, you just get a little bit
and
slower.
they're all dead and you're fine. Yeah. So it's just like, oh, you have some frame rate issues there.
But one of my favorite things about Garden was figuring out the eyes. It was you, Lepke, and I.
Yeah.
And we were trying to figure out the eyes because we were having so much trouble with it at the beginning.
We were.
And then like just that moment when it clicked for all of us, it was so cool, because then it was like we didn't even really. It was just like outside, boom, done. All right, keep it moving, and like we just got into this groove where at the end we were way ahead of it. Like I felt like we were just rolling on through.
Well, if you like eyes, then let me tell you,
you'll love Ribbon.
you'll love Ribbon.
Perfect.
She's got like 12.
I saw a comment on the YouTube video I was watching. They're like, has anybody tried to put Ribbon's eyes on a musical staff? And now I really want to research that.
But no, Garden of Salvation, best looking. It was my favorite one. But at this point, it's pretty razor thin.
Yeah.
I can't wait to experience a fresh new one when you don't really know too much about it.
Yeah. It'll be cool. I don't know if you guys have it planned, but your favorite encounter across all the raids and least favorite encounter across all the raids?
Well, I can look at my ratings and see.
Favorite encounter, the marathon puzzle and Last Wish. Least favorite, probably the opening of Scourge. Just because it's...
Not a 6-man thing.
Yeah, it's... I could hang up on the building and just sit in a hammock and do
You should do
nothing.
map next time. Doing the map's kind of fun.
You
Maybe.
have to tell everyone where to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you to go to the wrong place again. Steal your loot.
Killing yourself, too.
What's
I
your
don't-
favorite?
I'd say Argos is probably my favorite. That's the
End of Worlds.
Eater of Worlds final boss.
My favorite is the Gauntlet. I didn't do it with our raid team, but usually I run.
Yeah.
I freaking love running the Gauntlet, man. It's so fun.
Gauntlet's a blast. It's a 9.5 on mine.
It's so
close
good.
to perfect.
It's so good. And then that final like track movement where everybody gets there at the end and you're like, oh, everybody try to make it. I love it so much. It's one of the like most fun. The final run of the Gauntlet is the most fun thing to me.
Yeah.
My least favorite is the Crown of Sorrows finale. I just
Same.
feel like we kept saying it, but I feel like there's just one too many mechanics that make it like I don't think removing one mechanic would make it unbeatable or like not as fun. I just don't know which mechanic you would need to remove.
Heck, I think they could even get away with just moving the dang crystal that spawns in midair.
Yeah, the one
To,
above the
like,
stairs.
on the ground.
The one above the stairs. Yeah.
I think that would do it. We got screwed up so many times. Luckily, you figured out that you just need to wait for me because I'm the dumb one who can't actually hit it, right?
I think
Well, I mean, one time we were standing inside of the shield, and I'm like, I normally punch it so I don't have to waste ammo. So I'm
Yeah.
just like, I probably hit it like 10 times, and nothing was happening, and I just ended up shooting it and barely getting it. Just like,
I will say,
okay.
and this is all this to say, when we did that final encounter, like Lepke and I got, because it was Lepke and I was our group. We got to a point where we were just rolling it.
Yeah.
Like it was. I mean, I don't want to say it was easy because it's not, but like it almost felt.
I mean,
easy
for
to
the
the point.
It so depends on what
Yeah.
spawns first for you. Like, where if you get ogres or if you get
Deception.
Deception. Because I think the earlier you can take care of your deception, the easier it tends to be in the aftermath.
yeah.
Because then you're not having to actually worry about that whole mechanic.
Especially if,
Because I think
Maybe
we
if
did
you're
the
in the-
best, at least when we got the deception first.
yeah, and plus, like, if you get it last, you've had to wait so long to get it. Maybe you've had to res your teammate.
Yeah, you've been
so you're
fighting
down a res
forever.
token, and then also your deception comes up, and you have to get a crystal, and you have to switch buffs because you're about to die.
Yeah, there's just one too many,
Yeah.
I think, in that final encounter. And I don't know. It's still fun.
It was fun to beat.
Yeah.
But it was not. I did not have that much fun.
Yeah, that was bad night, Brett.
That was my worst night of all of our rating. I will play it again with you guys.
It's because
just
you
so we
didn't
can-
eat supper.
I didn't. You're right. I did.
because you
I
didn't
skipped
eat.
supper that night.
Always eat
Cinnamon
before
Toast
rating.
Crunch, man.
I got. Ooh.
We also did
That sounds
push-ups
good.
and ended up
We did do
winning.
push-ups.
Push-ups work. If you're struggling with raid encounter,
Do push-ups.
everyone take a break. Do 10 push-ups.
Except for Garden, when we were like, oh, we take a break and do push-ups. I didn't because I was so tired.
I didn't do push-ups during Garden.
I think Lepke said, I'm going to go to the bathroom and do push-ups.
Oh, yeah. That's right. He did.
So it's been teased and heavily rumored that the next Destiny expansion in the fall is taking us to Europa. Mm-hmm. And it'll be a snowy planet or snowy area. So anything that you guys want to see in the next raid, or like just
New enemies.
guess at?
Well,
Or hope for?
my guess would be more heavily involved Savathun as a villain. So probably, Taken and Hive will be probably involved somehow. I would really like to see a new enemy too. I also think there's going to be an alliance soon. I could see,
Between us and an enemy.
not the Red Legion, but maybe some Cabal.
Callus loves us.
Yeah.
Callus is all about like, hey, you should join my shadows and be
Shadows.
be master assassins.
I could
for
also-
me, and we'll ride to the end of the world together, baby.
Maybe that's who we make our alliance with.
I could also see a formation of alliance start to happen with the Fallen, since they used to be light bearers, and they're seeking that out. But I don't know where that would come from.
Yeah.
Destiny
know.
needs
I don't
to
know
release
a whole lot
books,
about lore,
like
so-
novels.
I'll give you the Grimoire books.
No, like novels.
I
like
know.
tell us stories about the old fire team or something. I think that'd be cool.
Give me a Collapse prequel show.
An animated
show.
show.
Yeah.
Pitch it to Disney. Disney.
Give me a Destiny anime. I don't want Disney to.
I was gonna say Disney for real.
They just, I don't know. Sorry.
Come on, they own everything else.
I know. Well, I know that.
Throw Universal a bone. They don't have AMC theaters anymore.
Universal doesn't have an awesome 360-degree.
Let's make Destiny as a Blumhouse movie.
Okay.
One location.
One location under $5 million budget.
Where are we going, boys?
Well, it could
the
be-
moon.
We could do the story of the last word.
True. Just do an animated movie for super cheap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
First Blumhouse animated movie.
nailed it. We've branched them into a new place.
You're welcome, Blumhouse.
And Bungie.
Mostly Blumhouse.
Mostly Bungie.
Either way.
Oh, that's good. Okay, well, anything else before we wrap it up for tonight?
Now I just want to play Destiny.
Let's go play some Destiny, guys.
I won't tonight.
Oh, okay.
I'm old, man. I go to sleep.
It's not even 10. We can do this.
We'd have to end this, and I'd have to sprint out of the door to get home by 10. Just
Do you know
to
how
maybe-
far away I live?
15 minutes.
It used to be 15 minutes. He lives a little farther away from me.
So now it's like 20 minutes.
It's maybe 25.
I'm sorry I moved and made your drive slightly more inconvenient.
It's fine.
Just wear your sunglasses at night.
Well, hey,
That was fun. That was a fun exercise.
that was. I enjoy it, and I hope anyone who plays Destiny enjoyed our conversation. If you didn't play Destiny and you still hung out, thank you.
Maybe we got you
Absolutely.
interested in Destiny. It's free.
It is free.
It is. Base game is free, so
So
hit us up.
download it, try it out if you're interested.
Yeah.
I bet you have some fun with it.
Make a Titan.
Make a warlock.
Make a Titan.
I did that so Brett couldn't win.
I see. Clever.
I'd rather Brett lose than me win, so I'll just choose Titans so that we outnumber you.
Shank. Run away. That's all I've got on my list for this week.
Yep.
Yep. I
All
don't
right.
have anything else.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening and tuning in. And I cannot wait to be back next week.
Yeah.
Me too. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to play more Destiny with you guys.
Continue staying safe.
Yep. And hopefully the world is in a better place next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep.
It won't be fixed.
Won't be fixed.
We understand that. But hopefully it's in a better
closer.
place. Yeah.
Let's
Keep moving forward.
Right.
Move forward.
Stop moving backwards. Let's move forward.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll see you next week. Bye.
See you guys.
Well, the fanboy on Twitter.